Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Pete here with MixBetterNow.com. Welcome to a brand new Mix Critique Monday. Today is February the 27th, 2017. February is about in the books. As usual, we got three very cool mixes on deck ready to go. Today we have mixes from Lasse Petterson. We have a mix from Andrew Laing, and all the way from India, we got a mix from my man Dilpreet Bhatia. So we're going to get into those in a second. But before that, if you are new to Mix Critique Monday, I would like to say welcome. Mix Critique Monday is essentially a platform to you to get a free mix critique. Okay, everything here is essentially just it's another way to get another set of ears on one of your mixes. Everything is positive feedback, constructive criticism. It's a very safe place. There's no negativity here. Nothing is said in a disparaging manner. As they say, it is all love. So I want you all to feel as comfortable as possible. After I go through these and I say my things in bits and bobs, you can leave comments. You can feel free to email me and contact me. I want to help you guys really, try and hear some stuff that maybe you don't hear. I know how it is when you kind of get really involved in a project and it's hard to get, a different perspective on it. So that's really a large part of why I do this. If you would like a free mix critique, all you have to do is email me at pete@mixbetternow.com. My link will be in the show notes. You can also, of course, go to the website, go to mixbetternow.com, and you could email me directly there. It's first come, first serve, but all you have to do is email me a downloadable, preferably a WAV file, okay, because they're higher resolution. If not, an MP3 is okay too. But please include your name, the name of the track, and the name of the artist if it is different from yourself. Like I said, first come, first serve. So, if you get it into me sooner, it goes into the list. I put it in order. And right now we're backed up a little bit, as I say every week. So I'm kind of debating what to do right now. I'm doing 3 mixes a week. I want to give you guys enough feedback where it's in depth. I don't want to put 6-7 mixes in a session and just say a couple things about it. So, I might add another song or two so we could kind of move it along here. I don't want you guys to have to wait 2 months to really get, on the show to get a mix feedback. So, if you guys have any ideas or anything you would like to see me do, definitely submit your ideas in the comments below. I will absolutely read all of them and take them on board. So, all right, enough of my jibber jabber in here. Let's get into the first mix. This one is called Why Don't You Stay by the artist Ronnie Jones, and this is mixed by Lasse Petterson. All right, here we go. Sounds awesome.
Girl, but you didn't let that many into your secret world. A paradise or so I've heard from somebody. And I'm just sitting here and thinking about the times that we once had. Yeah, some of them were crazy, hey, but some of them were bad. And if they asked me, I'd say I was glad to have known you. So why don't you stay?
Man, what a great mix. Sounds awesome so far, Lasse. This is great. Sounds fantastic to me. Love the levels. Really cool song. Really not hearing too much that I would change or that I dislike. I think it sounds very, very professional, very polished. All around very good. And just one quick thing, I'm battling a little bit of a sore throat, so I apologize. I'm kind of sucking on a cough drop here, so if you see that or hear that, I do apologize. But anyway, so far really, really loving it. It's very balanced, and what I like about the waveform here is that there's lots of dynamics going on here. You could definitely tell we've got lots of dynamic range in it. There's plenty of peaks and valleys. I love dynamic range personally, okay? But, I'll sometimes get stuff where, you'll see a brick and it's louder. I'll say that, but dynamics are great, right? Dynamics are part of music. It's part of what makes things, exciting when things get quieter and things get louder, and there's a lot of, different movement happening throughout the track. So far, really enjoying this, and I want to keep listening.
When I heard that you got married to that old friend of mine, and it didn't take too long for you stepped out of the line. But through the grapevine I heard you doing fine and it's over. That's why I asked you here today to see if you could see what I can see. But maybe it was always meant that it would end up you and me. Guess what I'm saying is if you want me then I'm ready to go, yeah. So why don't you stay for a little while? Why don't you stay?
Everything sounds really, really good. Love the way that the kick and the bass are interacting. They're locked in very tight. Tonally, they're not stepping on each other's toes. I'm easily, able to hear the kick and the bass, which is a huge part of a great mix. It's definitely one of the harder things to do. Is to kind of sculpt and carve out certain spots in the low end to get the bass and the kick to play nice. The snare sounds great. I even love the way the acoustic sounds. The acoustic guitars, they are percussive, yet they don't sound ice picky. They don't sound glassy, and really just sound really good. The guitars sound great. The vocal is sitting in a nice spot. I like the effects choices. I'm really struggling to find something that I don't like about this mix.
Come on and make me smile. Why don't you stay? We could just talk all night. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Wipe away the tears. Why don't you stay? 'Cause God, I need you here. Why don't you stay? How can I make...
Love how the background vocals are kind of panned out, hard left and right, makes it sound bigger when those little accents come in, something that I would probably do in one of my mixes. Really dig that.
Make this clear, why don't you stay? And I know I'm not the easiest man in the world. I know there's nothing simple about love.
All right, so if I really want to get picky here, his voice sound, the vocal, let me try it again in English, huh? His vocal sounds a little off here in terms of pitch.
Make this clear. And I know I'm not the easiest man in the...
Right there, when it kind of goes to the bridge.
And I know I'm not the easiest man in the world. I know there's nothing simple about loving me, girl.
Well, it just sounds kind of like it's kind of wavering. I heard a few sharp notes in there, so something you might want to consider. I think it's a great vocal performance, don't get me wrong at all. Just something you might want to consider, like if this is something you're going to use on a record, you're going to deliver to a client, something you're going to put in your portfolio, whatever it is, maybe run it through a little bit of Melodyne or Auto-Tune or, whatever your pick is of that kind of software. You could just sort of rein that stuff in. I don't think it's so far out where it's like you really need to go and do some massive surgery there by any means. I use Melodyne, so you could just literally hit the correct pitch and kind of just drag the fader over and just sort of tighten up some of the some of those notes that are kind of teetering on the edge of being sharp or being flat. But I'm being picky here. I'm reaching for things because this is a really solid mix. So let's keep listening.
So let's get together and give you what to say now. Why don't you stay? So why don't you stay? Wipe away the tears. Why don't you stay? 'Cause God, I need you here. Why don't you stay?
Wow, really, really good job. Killer mix. You know, I don't like to say things for the sake of saying them, so I really have no problem with any of that. I think it's a great tune. Really good job on balancing all of the instruments, how they're interacting with each other. Great job on the use of EQ so that everything is kind of sitting in its own spot. I was able to really hear everything there. You know, and that's definitely one of the harder things to pull off. You know, in a mix, especially getting the kick and the bass to play nice, having the acoustics sound really good and not have them sound overtly percussive or, you know, overly bright or harsh sounding, just sounded really good. My guess would be that a lot of that comes from a really good recording. So, Lasse, you know, if you recorded that, great job, man. You know, or whoever recorded that clearly did a good job, because the best mixes always come from the best recordings. When you're able to mix and not fix things, you know, you pull in a set of multi-tracks that you get from a client, and if everything is recorded well, it is an absolute joy to mix. You know, when you're just kind of sweetening things and balancing things as opposed to doing massive surgery on any tracks and, you know, pulling out the spray paint and the glitter and things like that. So really great job. Probably one of the top 2-3 mixes that I've heard on the Mix Critique Monday, so really good job. Keep up the good work, because that is certainly good work. Proud of you, man. Okay, next up, Set Me Free by Andrew Laing. So we're gonna just scroll over a little bit here and let's check this out. Here we go. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get rid of, I don't know what happened to the X to get rid of this. Well, we'll put it down here. How's that? And we'll move this over. For some odd reason, PreSonus Studio One acts a little bit weird when I use ScreenFlow. It kind of gets like a little bit slow. I think that's more of a ScreenFlow thing. Anyway, I'm going to put this down here, and then what we'll do, we'll get the mix tool up here. And let's start this over. That kick's a little loud for me. It's kind of just, it's taken away from the really cool, very subtle kind of piano lick going on the left-hand side. And it's a lot louder than the snare.
In a box, in a tiny box, is where I was trapped years ago. I didn't have any place to go, anywhere to turn, or anyone to know. Was a struggle, I couldn't get out. Christ got the key and set me free.
I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free. I sing.
All right, a couple things that I'm hearing, Andrew. The vocals are when the female vocals come in there, it sounds a bit off.
I know.
You know, pitch-wise, it sounds a bit off. It's kind of distracting from the rest of the stuff going on there. You know, I think if this is one of your tunes and this is something that's a performance issue that can be retracked, I always advocate, you know, doing your best to get things how you want them to sound during the recording phase, because for the same reason that I really dug Lasse's mix, you know, it's sounding so good, is that when everything kind of comes together during the recording phase, when it's time to mix, it's a much easier job. I just hope that, you know, I want you to be able to hear that, because hearing and recognizing all of these things is crucial. to be able to discern, to make an objective decision when you're listening and to say, okay, this isn't good enough, or something's a little bit off here and a little bit skewed. So the main problem I'm having with this is just that the vocals are not being sung in key right now.
Know that Christ set me free.
It's more the female right now that I'm hearing than the male, so just keep that in mind.
I sing for him and he bless me. Shout it out, cause he set me free. I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free. I sing for him and he bless me. I shout it out, cause he set me free.
Now I'm free at last. Would never go back to my damning past. Now I have a place to go, a place to turn.
Again, the female vocals sound just a little bit muffled to me. Now that could, it really what it sounds like is it's more of a recording issue, like maybe it was recorded with a dynamic microphone or something like that, where it's not as highly defined as if it was on a condenser mic. Now, I'm not saying you can't get really great sounding vocals on a dynamic mic by any means. I love recording vocals with dynamic mics, but there's just something going on where it's almost it almost sounds like there's a de-esser on and it's kind of clamping down on like that 4K, 5K, 6K area where you would get a lot of the definition on the high end from that.
And people I know, he died on the cross for us and got the key to set us free.
And again, it's some of a performance thing where the female vocal performance is just not consistently on key. No slight on the singer at all. If it's, like I said, if it's something you can go back and you can retrack, definitely would consider doing that. If there's a better vocal performance, that you can get out of the singer, great. I use things like Melodyne as a last resort. Like if, like I would never record something and say, okay, it's good enough, let's keep it, and then I'll just tune it later, because I think that's lazy, and I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just talking about what I do. So, it's I hope you can hear what I'm hearing there, because it's just, like let's say this is perfectly on key. She's just going a little sharp, little flat, little sharp, little flat. And then back here,
I know that
when the male and the female are singing, she's definitely off there. And it's just kind of distracting from the rest of the from the tune.
And people I know, he died on the cross for us and got the key to set us free.
I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free. I sing for him and he bless me.
I think the male vocal and the kick are just a little bit loud. They're a little dominant, kind of just distracting from everything else. So personally, I would bring both down a few dB. As I said in the beginning, the kick was just a little much. I know it's driving the song here, and I like that, but I think it can definitely be automated. So in the beginning, you could bring it down a little bit. You could bring it a little bit up during the chorus. Always be routing those faders. Think of mixing as a two-part process. The first part is to get all the tracks to sound how you want, and the second phase of a mix is really sort of like you're conducting a symphony, but you're doing that with your faders in your session. You're bringing this part up, then you're bringing it back, and other things are coming to the forefront, and then they're kind of pulled into the background. I think that would really help here. I know this is a chorus, and I know things are going to get louder, but I would just pull the male vocal and the kick down just a few dB.
I shout it out, cause he set me free. I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free. I sing for him and he bless me. I shout it out, cause he set me free.
Cool breakdown. Like this.
I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free. I sing for him and he blessed me. I shout it out 'cause he set me free. I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free. I sing for him and he blessed me. I shout it out 'cause he set me free. I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free. I sing for him and he blessed me. I shout it out 'cause he set me free.
All right. Overall, solid job. I'm going to pull this back a little bit.
Me free. I sing for him and he blessed me. I shout it out 'cause he set me free. I don't care what you say about me. I know that Christ set me free.
All I'm doing is I'm just hearing a little bit of low-end buildup that I think could be pulled out around 200. I think you can definitely high pass this a little bit more. Just some sub-low information that I don't think is particularly necessary, that I like to always get rid of. I tighten things up. I say this every week. I always EQ on my mix bus. EQ on your mix bus. Always high pass filter on everything. For me, unless it's like a sub kick or a sub instrument, like a sub synth, where you kind of want those extremely low frequencies, get rid of the 20, the 25. No one's gonna hear it. So I'm pulling out 37. So I'm going almost to 40 hertz here with a 12 dB per octave slope, and I'm just cleaning up some of this low end buildup here around 200 with the 2 dB cut, fairly wide Q of 2, and I just think that would go a long way, in terms of, because you got that kick, which is very low end heavy. It's low end forward. You've got a bass guitar, and even the snares, a lot of those frequencies can kind of creep down into that area. So just some food for thought there. But overall, cool mix. Definitely a solid job. I would. My main concern is with the vocals being in tune. Vocals that are kind of that come in and out like that can distract from the rest of a really good song and the rest of a really good performance. So forget about the mix for now. Think about the performance and the song and the overall sort of feel of that, okay? And again, if this is something that you can go back and retrack, and this is an important song for you in some way, I would recommend doing that before reaching for something like Melodyne. That's just the way that I like to do it. So overall, good job. I really appreciate it, Andrew. Thank you for submitting Set Me Free. Very, very cool. All right, next up, last but not least, all the way from India, we've got a mix from Dilpreet Bhatia, and this is called, I hope I'm saying this right, Miti Dabawa, and we're going to get into it, all right? So let's get our mix tool up, and I'm excited to check this out. Here we go. All the way from India, Dilpreet Bhatia's Miti Dabawa. Very cool intro. Like it. Slow build. Very cool.
मिट्टी दबावा में बनोनिया वे चका पोनिया वे उत्ते ਦਿੰਦੀਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਖੇਸੀ
Man, what a cool song. So vibey. Just a very, it almost sounded like a typewriter in the beginning there, where you were kind of making it all come together in a percussive format to sound really cool. I just wanted to touch on something that I'm hearing that's an issue right away, is that the vocals are pretty muddy. They're very bottom heavy here. This could be a variety of things, of course. Proximity effect, where, if you really kind of eat the mic, that's going to be an issue, especially when recording, depending on the microphone that you're using. Mic placement is huge. Now, of course, this is with the assumption that this is your song, Dilpreet. I don't believe you gave the name of an artist here. So, something that took me a long time to really get comfortable with, and something, when I was recording or whenever I record, is to always make sure you give yourself enough distance, with mic placement, be it lead vocals, be it recording an acoustic guitar. A lot of the times, a really great performance can get ruined by being too close to a microphone. There's really no reason to ever need to sing this close to a mic. I always find I like to give myself, a foot. I kind of use something like this. I will put the pop filter out far enough. I'll go in and I'll listen, and I'll, kind of record some takes and see how it sounds. But I like to put my pop filter wherever, I don't want the artist, if I'm recording somebody else and I don't want them getting any closer than this to the microphone, I'll put the pop filter out here or something there so that they don't get closer than that, because it's just like a natural inclination to want to kind of creep up on the mic. Live performance, I think proximity effect can be a cool thing when you're singing live. But here, it definitely sounds like, that's an issue going on. A lot of that can be fixed with EQ, with some subtractive EQ going in and carving out some of the bottom end, definitely getting the high pass filter going, looking for something around 100, 200, 300. That's where I'm hearing a lot of that stuff build up. So, definitely keep that in mind when you go back to make tweaks to this. I think you can do a lot of subtractive EQ to the vocal to really clean it up and to make it kind of still have that intimate sound, because this is like an intimate sounding song, right? So, definitely cool though.
Naro mitti te bave ave tera pyo pardesi मिट्टी दबावा मैं बनानिया वे चाका पानिया वे उत्ते दिंदिया मैं खेसी.
It also sounds to me like the vocal is pretty stereo here. I always like to make sure that I try and get the lead vocal to really be up the middle. Not necessarily in true mono, but I understand if you're going to put a stereo effect on something like like a reverb or a delay, it's going to spread it out. But I'm hearing it nice and wide here, and if that's something that you want, then right on, man, absolutely do it. But I just think it would sound cool here if it was a little bit more up the middle, because it's that chill, intimate thing. I really like the song. I think it's so cool. I wish I knew what you were saying, what the lyrics were. But just man, I wish I had the vocal track so I could go in and just kind of carve some stuff out real quick, so I could show you how easy it would be to kind of clean this vocal up to get it to sit in a really nice place with the rest of the music here. Let's keep listening.
Naro mitti bave ave tera pyo pardesi
What a cool song. Really like it.
ਮਿੱਟੀ ਦਾ ਬਾਵਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਓ ਬੋਲੇ ਦਾਵੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਓ ਚਾਲ ਦਾਵੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਓ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਏ ਹੁੰਗਾਰਾ ਨਾਰੋ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਦਿਆ ਬਾਵੇ ਆਵੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਪਿਓ ਬਣਦਾਰਾ
Love the use of that typewriter. So cool. Really smart.
ਮਿੱਟੀ ਦਾ ਬਾਵਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਓ ਬੋਲੇ ਦਾਵੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਓ ਚਾਲ ਦਾਵੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਓ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਏ ਹੁੰਗਾਰਾ ਮਾਰੋ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਦਿਆ ਬਾਵੇ
Would love to hear that acoustic guitar just a little bit farther out to the right. It's almost kind of getting sucked into that central area where there's a lot of things fighting, where you kind of have this concept of LCR panning. Without getting into a huge rabbit hole, LCR panning stands for left, center, right, if you guys haven't heard of it. And the concept of using LCR panning is that our brains, in some psychoacoustic fashion, really can only perceive things on the left, up the center, or on the right. So if we're doing panning stuff, and instead of panning it all the way to the right, if it's like, let's say far right is 100, far left is 100, and up the middle is 0, going like 45 or like 33. It's kind of like these areas that smear together a little bit, and like our brains can't really perceive, or our ears, which are connected to our brains, can't perceive really where it's at. It's almost like, okay, well, here's up the middle, here's to the right, here's to the left, but I'm kind of hearing something over here, and I can't really tell if it's here or if it's here. I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's whatever you like to do. But I would just love to hear that acoustic guitar a little bit farther to the right so that it can almost stand by itself, and I can hear it a little better if it had a little more separation from the rest of it stuff. But it sounds really cool, though. I really like it. Love that electric piano there. Sounds like a Rhodes of some type. So tasteful. Wow. What a great song. Yeah, that's just, personally something that's kind of up my alley. I love chill music like that. And what a cool mix. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. Dilpreet, really cool job, man. The only real qualm I have with that is that I think your vocal could sound 100% better with some subtractive EQ going in and kind of scooping out some of the muddiness, some of that low end buildup. I think you have a great voice. You're singing really well there. Such a cool idea to use that typewriter as part of a percussive element. You've got like a Rhodes thing happening over here, yet over here you have an acoustic guitar, and it just kind of gives just a very very original sound. Love it. But please definitely do some work on cleaning up that vocal. If it's something that you can't achieve by using subtractive EQ, if it is so to the point of, high passing it and doing some strategic cuts isn't cleaning it up, I would definitely advocate going back and recording it, backing up from your microphone so that you get a lot more of the clarity that you hear like this when I move back. And then, of course, the closer I come, you kind of get this thing happening. So, just make sure when you're recording, listen. Our ears and listening is one of the best tools that we have. I don't care how well I think I know one of my microphones. I don't care, how well I think I know one of my mic pre's or the room or the vocalist. I always like to listen, do a couple takes, a couple passes, try something here at a certain distance, at a certain position, move the microphone around, and think of the microphone as a flashlight, right? Where the capsule sort of shines like a flashlight beam does, and you kind of want to get your whatever you're recording at the appropriate spot sort of in that beam. I know that's like a weird analogy, but that's the way that I forget who kind of said that, and it was an analogy that makes sense though. Thinking about capsules and cardioid versus a figure eight or versus an omni thing. They kind of all capture different areas. Like if we could see the whole the whole thing as opposed to hearing it. Anyway. But great job though. Really, really cool. Dilpreet Bhatia's mix of Miti Dabawa, all the way from India. My man, killing it. So, big thanks. 3 really cool mixes as always. So, let's shrink this up a little bit. Get this guy out of the way. I don't know what happened with that. Like I said, screen flow has been known to be a little bit weird, not playing nice with DAWs sometimes. But anyway, Why Don't You Stay by Ronnie Jones. And that was mixed by Lasse Petterson. We had Set Me Free, mixed by Andrew Laing. And then Miti Dabawa from Dilpreet Bhatia. So 3 very cool mixes. I would say all those definitely have like their own, some different genres going on there. All you could classify them into rock or pop or whatever. But really enjoyed that. So I love having those, those sort of differences. And then it's always a great thing to hear a really great mix. Like the one that the Why Don't You Stay from Lasse. Really enjoyed the other 2. There was a couple things, I think, a couple tweaks that can be done to really improve them. But you guys are definitely on the right track. Great work as always. Really good job. So again, if you would like a free mix critique and you would like to be have one of your mixes featured on a Mix Critique Monday, all you have to do is email me, pete@mixbetternow.com. You could do that via my website. Just head over to mixbetternow.com. There's an email box there. You can also click. All my information is below in the show notes. First come, first serve. Preferably email me a downloadable WAV file, as they are higher resolution. If not, an MP3 is okay. Please include your name, the name of the song, and the name of the artist if it is different from yourself. First come, first serve. And I absolutely put everything in line, and everything will be used. So, it's a really great way to kind of get involved. And, leave lots of comments below. Feel free to hit me up if you guys have any questions about anything, if there's anything I can do to help you or to make this a better experience overall. So, again, big thanks to all who submit and all who've submitted today. A big thanks to Lasse, big thanks to Andrew, and a big thanks to Dilpreet. My name is Pete with MixBetterNow.com. This has been a brand new Mix Critique Monday. As always, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will catch you next time.